Okay, greetings, patriots, Star Seas light workers, and of course our brave military. Welcome, 1776 United, and we're in a worldwide and galactic revolution. Now, today, Trump is trying to reveal, dropping breadcrumbs everywhere, and it's our job to pick up the breadcrumbs and get them decoded. There's a lot of things that he cannot say, not because he's under threat, in the most part, but he's can't say a lot of things about what has been accomplished based on humanity has to realize and get connected with this, and humanity, their whole psyche moves very, very slow, unfortunately. It takes a long time for the collective to wake up to exactly and understand what exactly is going on. Now, there's a lot of people out there, that are mega people, and they love Trump, but they don't know why they love Trump, but they just love Trump. They don't realize or see what he's doing exactly and how he's changing the world. And what I don't understand is the amount, and this is something that we have to bring to everybody's attention. If you have, it's one thing to have a Trump hater and they're exposing themselves and looking like ignorant idiots, and that's fine. But it's another thing, and this tells, the words tell 1,000 stories based on these mega haters. Well, mega is Make America Great Again. Those are the movement that people want to make America great again, right? Mega, that's pretty simple. But you have Trump and mega haters. So we have people that hate the thought of making America great again. I just cannot get my head around that concept. But if you have that incident or situation where people that hate mega or are downplaying or bad-mouthing or demonize mega, it's just telling you that they hate America. They hate everything about it. They're here and they want to just kill it all off. They want to burn it all to the ground. And those are domestic and foreign enemies, and you can basically make your own judgment to what they are at that point. All right? Anyways, there's things that Trump cannot tell you but has already been done. Okay? NESARA and GESARA has already been implemented. That's already a done deal. He signed that months ago. Okay? He also signed the QFS months ago. It's already been done. But he just can't say nothing, right? He can't say nothing because, it would be, the lunatic, crazy left, the crazies out there would be attacking him. And, we have all this blatant media trash talk, and all they're doing is convicting themselves. They're just opening up nothing but treasonous evidence against them. And maybe this is what Trump is doing. Now, the IRS, which he took care of, doesn't exist anymore. So if you're paying a tax, I don't know who you're paying it to. There's a lot of rogue operators, misfits, maybe crazies that took the paperwork home and think that they can start swindling you out of money. But myself, I've stopped paying taxes a long time ago. I knew this was all coming, and I think I started telling people not to pay their taxes some years ago. And now it's all basically, it's in print. But remember, these are things that Trump cannot say because it's humanity has to be able to figure it out. They have to start realizing and understanding what's going on organically. You know, and even if they were told, it still wouldn't register to a lot of these people. They're on a different frequency. The Federal Reserve is gone. Okay, the money that was in there, and when Trump went over there to do the inspection, he was opening up the scene of the crime, and all the amount of extortion and money laundering that had been going on at the Federal Reserve for years and years. Now, the Federal Reserve, all that whatever was there, okay, was transferred over to the Treasury Department, okay, of the Republic. Now, I think when they finish the Federal Reserve, because it's a beautiful fortified building, you're going to see all the treasures be transferred back to there under heavily guarded situation, and off to the races we go. Now, I'm sorry for all the noise, but we got chickens and birds and ducks and cats and fucking dogs. I'm living in a tropical zoo. Anyways, along with all the lunatics that are on the street. The Federal Reserve is gone. Now, also we have to understand the dollar bills, USD, there has not been any dollars printed, okay, since 2017. All right? So if you look on your bills, you'll see that there's no new printing out there. There wasn't anything printed in 2020, anything in 2019. It was finished. It stopped. So the money is running out. It's drying up. But, what Trump is doing, and if you, with all this banking and bullshit going on there, like, I said, to get your money out of your account, but people, if they haven't got their money out of the account, it doesn't matter, okay? Because the QFS has got it mirrored everywhere, on every account, anywhere in the world, okay? So if you got an account in the United States and you're from, say, Brazil, okay, but you're in the United States, it might show up on the United States that there is no money in that account, but there will be a QFS account in your homeland, okay? So, for instance, like me, I have a house, with my family here in the Philippines, but I cannot collect any money from here from the Philippines because I'm not a Philippine national. I'm a Canadian national. So I'd have to go home to deal with my money affairs and bank accounts in Canada because I am Canadian. All right? So, and it's going to apply to every person on the planet. All this that's going on there is a process because humanity is very, very slow. Like I said before, they're very slow at trying to get it figured out. Now, Putin, Trump, and Xi Jinping have been in joint operations since 2016, okay? Since 2016, they have been attacking the child trafficking, okay? And they've been saving tens of hundreds of thousands of children around the world, not to mention what has been going on and what the Russian military and Spetsnaz had to dig up and uncover with all the labs going on in Ukraine. And that was the deep state stronghold. That was where they did all their dirty fucking business. It was everything was there, and Putin went in there to stomp it out. There's, you could see what was going on. There's a map showing, Russia not being the aggressor. It showed that each country was being taken over by NATO, and it showed how this was all being put together, and it was, predictive programming, on this scale or on this graph map, showing that here's NATO here now, here, NATO is now in France, now it's now in Spain, now in England. NATO was just coming in from all sides, and Putin stood up to it. So, I am totally convinced that Putin was doing the right thing. Now, like I said, I want to go back to the your new QFS account, your new QFS account. Now, whether you have to go in for a what you want to call it, a redemption, if there's I think the redemption centers or any type of foreign exchange, there will be a window that you can go in there to the redemption center, and the redemption center could be in a bank, could be in just a private building with no signs or anything on it. It depends on the situation, because they have thousands of redemption centers around the world for people to get their money exchanged, from the foreign currency to their new QFS money. Okay, so like I said, if you're, say, French, then you will receive French money in as far as a gold back goes. Okay, but it doesn't matter if it's the French franc or the Vietnamese dong or the Brazilian peso or the Colombian peso or whatever it may be. Everything's going to be very, very close to 1-to-1. Okay, so it doesn't matter what you're basically post QFS and EBS. It doesn't matter what you're holding in your pocket. The value, say buying a ticket of any sort or whatever, will take you just as far with a Colombian peso as it will a US dollar. So all the playing field is going to be at even value. Okay. Now, along with all that, Trump is exposing little by little. Okay, but when he says he's going to do something like Chicago next, or he's going to go after Venezuela, it's done. He's already said, when he said that at that time that he's going to go after Venezuela, that was already done, because he's not going to advertise it in front of everybody. He's not going to say, hey, I'm going to go into Venezuela. No, he already went into Venezuela, and then when he gets it all finished and cleaned up, then he comes up and he lets, he releases that information. And it's the same as Mexico, same as what is happening in Canada. There's, they've been, the military's been in Canada, the Earth Alliance has been in Canada for a long, long time. Now, we might be able to see what's going on, but it doesn't mean it's not going on. So there's a lot of things getting cleaned up. Every politician around the world has got basically a gun pointed to their head to say, you do exactly what you're told to do, or you're going to be sent to Gitmo. And I'm seeing on the digital press, okay, the digital press is making drops, military drops every day about new arrests of what's going on. They're picking them up left, right, and center. And there is no shortage of handcuffs getting thrown on these criminals. Okay? This is what they're able to release. So what Trump is trying to do, he's trying to make show a slow release of all this transition from the old money that has to be burned to the new flip side QFS money that's coming in, along with the arrests. So he just can't throw it on the table. Here's what it is, because people would not understand. They just wouldn't get it. But the slow process, and like I said, the Patriots and Starseeds and Lightworkers are, their intuition's working, on all 8 cylinders, whereas the normal and the sleepers are maybe 1 or 2 cylinders, and that's just the way it is. And they have to collectively, get their shit together on their time. It has to be a mass awakening. Okay, it just can't be something that we're all, because we're not all the same. And we have different different roads and different paths we have to make. And the last thing I want to say is that when things do when the shit does hit the fan, you patriots will be needed to guide. You will be the guiding lights on all this. Okay, so that being said, God bless you patriots and Star Seas light workers, and of course our brave military freedom fighters. Have a great day, and we'll see you on the next one.